We've noticed that the flat roof portion is leaking.
We would expect that a home inspector would notice.
Looks like they took a porch at one time and turned it into an addition.
I paid house inspection for nothing.
What's the point in getting it if you're just gonna get a rotting house anyway?
Mike and Tricia, first-time home buyers, first picked the neighborhood they wanted to find and live in and found the house that they wanted. And it came with a basement apartment. It came with an addition off the back. And that addition has a laundry room. They even got a home inspection and everything is working fine. All of a sudden, things go wrong. They went through the first winter and what happened? The pipes froze in the laundry room. The ceiling's leaking from the flat roof. And that's just the beginning. This is not going to be a home inspection. It's going to be a Holmes inspection.
We were living in a condo downtown, and it was about 600 square feet with myself, Mike, and the cat.
We sort of shifted our focus to looking at houses with the idea of renting out the basement, and this was actually the first place that we looked at.
It was advertised as a 3-bedroom house, but it's really more of like a 2+ den. And then it has a living room, dining room, that's all one big space. And then it has the kitchen in the back addition. And then it has a basement which has a kitchen in it, so it was perfect for a basement apartment.
The home inspector gave this house a solid 8 out of 10.
The home inspector didn't notice any big issues, nothing big enough that we would go back to the sellers and, try and negotiate the price down with.
We did take care of the small issue that showed up in the home inspection.
I think there was something that was not grounded.
So we did go ahead and make those repairs. So far in the back addition, we've noticed that the flat roof portion is certainly leaking.
And then we came home to find water all over the floor, and what had happened was the pipes from the laundry had frozen. We were thinking of doing kitchen renovation, so we had some contractors come through. We had a plumber come in to look at the freezing pipes, and he was telling us that it's going to be a huge job and he's going to have to dig the pipes up. So now all the money that we had budgeted to go to a kitchen renovation is now looking like it's gonna have to go here. Like the whole back room we weren't planning to touch.
We thought it'd be pretty safe to start looking at into our kitchen renovation a little further, so we ended up getting a very good deal on appliances, and they've been sitting there for, I guess, the last half a year in the living room.
No couch, no TV, nowhere to rest, just appliances in our living room.
As a new homeowner, I'm starting to see the fallout of work that's not done properly. There's something that's got to change in the training of these people. You're making an enormous financial decision based on the feedback of a professional. Something needs to change so that major issues aren't missed.
Hello.
Hi.
Must be Tricia.
Hi, I'm Tricia.
I'm Mike.
Yeah.
And you're Mike.
Another Mike.
I like that name. That's a good name. This looks like a decent house, eh?
Oh, thank you.
Let's go inside.
Perfect. We're getting ready to renovate the kitchen, so I pulled down the drop ceiling.
I saw in the report that there was knob and tube in the ceiling, so did you fix that?
No, he said that it was there, but he couldn't tell if it was active and live.
But he did put it in the report to have it inspected. I saw that. It said repair. It doesn't say what, it just says electrical. It talked about all kinds of electrical and repair. All right, what are you finding wrong other than these small areas that I see that appear to be wet?
The main wet part is actually here. We took out the drop ceiling here too, and there was actually a full puddle that Mike slit open and drained out water into a bucket.
Were you present on the inspection?
Yeah,
we walked
went
around
around with him. He explained stuff. He actually had a thermal imaging camera. He went around, and it was like, searching for ghosts or something.
What he's trying to do is see different temperatures, see if we have cold spots, hot spots, possible moisture.
Right.
There was nothing in the report about any signs of moisture that I read.
You said you didn't find any signs of moisture, and I started to think, did you use it in this room?
Well, let's say, now in the report it said it hadn't rained within 3 days and it hadn't snowed within 3 days. But because insulation and the vapor barrier, it's going to hold that moisture, and he didn't see any signs of that at all.
No, and here's the thing. There was a ceiling tile in that back corner where there's that huge watermark.
Yes.
And it had a water stain on it. That's something you can see with your naked eye.
This is a flat roof over the addition. You can clearly see the signs of moisture. There's no heat out here, is there?
Absolutely not. The only source of heat is underneath the sink.
Walking from the kitchen into the back addition, once you walk past that barrier, it's a complete difference. Like, it's like walking on ice.
About 3 to 4 weeks after we moved into our new home, I came home to water all over the floor.
And not from the roof.
And not from the roof. It was actually, and then we looked to the laundry sink and we noticed wash water had backed up into the laundry sink.
That laundry sink is not draining properly. I'm gonna have to take a closer look at that. This could be interesting. Let's go upstairs.
Okay.
Office. A sliding door. Signs of moisture.
So that leads out to the deck.
So you came up and put down a tarp, didn't you?
That's correct,
Yeah, so that it wouldn't leak.
Okay, let's get our shoes on and go outside. I'm gonna assume at one time that was not a deck up there, and it was changed after the years.
So this is the crawl space underneath our freezing back addition.
What is the wrap there? That's the drain. The drain is encased in insulation and comes down, goes under the earth that is not covered. This is not how to do the plumbing. This never would have passed. So we've got our job cut out for us. The problem with having a basement apartment, as soon as you put in a stove, it's classified as a basement apartment. This is on the borderline of no. Whoever did it. Okay, so let's just say, okay, he's already inspected, you bought the house, I'm coming in to do my inspection, and I am gonna move things. You're just a happy cat, aren't you? Give me a paw. Give me a paw. Okay, I'm just gonna continue the inspection, all right? What are you finding wrong other than these small areas that I see that appear to be wet?
Wash water had backed up into the laundry sink.
This could be interesting.
Our home inspector told us that it was an 8 out of 10. We thought that's pretty good.
If you really know what you're looking for, that number now is reduced. Different rules come into a basement apartment. And the reason I can say this is I see what? A stove. So somebody years ago turned this basement into an apartment without a permit, I can tell you that much. Did you rent it out?
No.
We'd like to.
Yeah.
You'd like to?
Yeah.
That brings in all new rules. That means the heating must be separate. That means the electrical must be separate. It must be a licensed, really permitted basement apartment. So you do have knob and tube, and it is hot. And we have actually a lot of knob and tube. Hot lines coming in there. When you're putting in a suspended ceiling, you're supposed to have 3 inches clearance, and you don't have it. Whoever did it. Okay, so let's just say, okay, he's already inspected, you bought the house, I'm coming in to do my inspection, and I am gonna move things.
I'm really happy that Mike Holmes is here because now that we've paid like more or less full price for this home that has major issues, not minor issues, it's really awesome that Holmes is gonna be here to take care of a lot of the major stuff. He's got some laser eye vision on him. He just seems to pick up everything. The other thing, Mike, that's kind of scared us is this vent over in this location here. We've had a few contractors come through here, and about half of them say it's asbestos wrapped, and about half say it's fiberglass or other.
It looks like a type of parge, but you know what? I'm not touching it. That's a scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Get it tested.
Okay.
Real simple. Get it tested. Okay, now it's my turn to do a proper inspection, and I'm gonna go further. I'm gonna pull stuff down, because this is no more just an inspection. This is a Holmes inspection.
We know that Mike Holmes has a good track record, and so we're honored to have him work on our house.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna end up taking down this plastic right now, keep it in place, keep any dirt up that's there, and we're gonna do a proper insulation at this side and vapor barrier up and keep that cold air to where it's supposed to be outside. But for fact, we are definitely not vented from this plumbing. The plumbing runs underneath, a cold zone being underneath, and the drain going down there. No wonder it froze. Okay, I better take some pictures. This pipe here They did bring in some contractors that said they think the possibility of this wrap on this pipe is asbestos. Well, I'm not gonna touch it. I'll have to bring the pros in. And if it is asbestos, we'll have to have it removed. Then we'll have to figure out some other way to get the heat to the second floor. We can see really clear, and he knew there was knob and tube here. It's here. It's everywhere. Come on, kitty. I'm gonna show you something. It does look like a tar. I'm not sure until I pull this up. Well, they have a wood deck down here. He's trying to keep the water out. This is not a good thing. Take it off. I'm curious about this conduit that runs from the panel. What is their intentions? What are they doing with it?
Mike Holmes.
Damon Bennett.
I found you on a nice sunny day.
I kind of want to know what this conduit that runs from the panel out, goes across the house.
Oh, sort of weird.
Goes back in the house, comes back out, and goes back in again. Well, let's have it inspected, see what it is. So we see the chicken wire, we see the insulation. The plumbing you see is a vent line that runs over and meets the drain line that you see on the right side of you that's vertical. And they noticed at the beginning that the pipes are freezing. They had a flood in their laundry room.
Because the trap froze.
So this is the small addition. They were present with the home inspection. They noticed that there was a yellow tile in the corner. What do we see?
I see water staining.
What's above us?
I see a deck and a flat roof.
That. So we know the flat roof is leaking. The issue that I see is that we have a structure that comes out this way.
Yeah.
We have the insulation in there. We have, at this end, we have a perforated soffit. Do we have air going up to the top of the insulation and 1.5 inches of airspace traveling to the front? It's very important that we have that, so you're gonna inspect that, okay? As we continue into the kitchen here, we have improper plumbing here and a nice down run into there, but how did that line tie into that stack? You know, there's a hope in their mind that we can actually move that duct line, which in this case we just might be doing anyways.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, I will make the dream come true, and I'm gonna open this up. We have a newer panel.
Good to see.
Let's have Frank do an inspection. I want to know what type of wires in the house. I do know, and I'm possibly assuming that there's going to be knob and tube throughout the house.
Okay.
Let's find out what. Let's find out what we're going to do, okay? Because we're going to do a lot. Upstairs we go. You know, you got to see the cat, eh? Happy. Happy. Want a treat? He usually goes under the blanket there and cuddles himself in on the homeowner's bed. Happy. Hi, Happy.
Happy.
You want a treat? Give me your paw. There we go.
Oh, good cat.
So here we have the office.
Yeah.
Here's the deck.
Or a swimming pool. That's even below my hips. That is
so you
crazy.
can tell we're more than likely going to pull this off and pull this roof off, make sure that we're nice and watertight across the top of here.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. My job is done for now.
All right.
You know, I'm only a phone call away.
This is why we don't put framing right to a roof. Now you can see right here, this framing is actually embedded in the roof line.
So I'm gonna end up cutting both of them out.
Yeah.
Which means I need to access this cavity here.
I used to like you. So you do have knob and tube, and it is hot. What is the wrap there? That's the drain. I kind of want to know what this conduit that runs from the panel out, goes across the house.
Sort of weird.
Goes back in the house, comes back out, and goes back in again.
I've got the green light. This is asbestos. This is what they used to do in the old days to wrap their pipe, keep you know, cold air off of it, heat in. The remediation people are here. They're gonna actually isolate this area for me. So this area is gonna come down. I need this light moved, MJ, so that's gonna be your job. So let's start taking that down. Let's move everything out of this kitchen. I don't really want it contaminated, so I also want this plastic dot, okay, guys? This is how you protect the house, huh? Okay. I just need a hammer.
It's an asbestos paper that they glued on top of ductwork to act as either an insulation or to stop condensation.
So it's original to the house?
Yeah, for sure. It's basically just a thin, white or gray asbestos paper.
Even though this is a small job, this is something you would want to do regardless. It's all about safety, it's all about health, right?
Yeah.
No matter how small the job, and this is a small one for you guys, you've tackled some big ones for us, and this is probably one of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
You always want to do this when you're dealing with asbestos.
Absolutely, and you have to protect the worker, and that's the law.
Right.
That's the most important part. So before you guys do anything further, you get the Environmental Contractor Alliance to come in and build their enclosure and remove it properly.
And make sure it's safe.
They build an enclosure around it. They'll use a HEPA-filtered negative air unit to draw air out of the enclosure, so it's under negative pressure all the time.
We sprayed while the enclosure is still up.
Yep.
That means any loose fibers are still flying inside the enclosure. That glue will catch it, glue it to
stick it to the side.
Stick it to the wall, to the floor.
Bag it.
We give it so much time to dry it.
Yep.
And then we just
get it out of here.
Fold it down and out of here.
I've got plumbing coming today. I have electrical coming today. I have HVAC coming today. I need to restructure this roof and get it ready for Steve. Insulation is fine. It's a way of keeping the wood off the deck because when it heats up outside, your framing is going to want to melt through that roof, right? Because the roof becomes soft and malleable. You don't want full pieces of styrofoam here because what you're doing is you're blocking water movement. Okay. What you want is strips under your framing.
Okay, so yeah, so it can...
So that water can flow out, right?
Almost like...
How is water ever going to make it here? So what's water's doing,
Pooling.
It's actually going to rot the deck and it's going to damage the roof. It's going to pool water on the roof and the deck. Okay, well, it looks like they did some patches here on this deck. They knew it was leaking at some point, so what they did is they tarred the insulation right in. I'm actually gonna leave this until Rob gets here and he can take a look at it. We know it's leaking, I know it's gotta be replaced. And I can tell right away why this thing is leaking in a number of spots. And one of them is framing. And this is why we don't put framing right to a roof. You look at that, you can actually see that gap open up. Water is probably pouring in there. How you doing there, buddy? How you doing?
Thank you.
Come on in.
Thanks for the surprise. Is that where the party is?
Well, here's a bit of our issue right here.
Uninsulated copper.
Uninsulated everything.
And everything pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, what they did is the laundry's up above us.
Okay.
This is where everything drains into a trap.
Okay.
So it's freezing on them in the winter, backing up.
Oh, boy.
I need this brought into the warm side of the house and back in, okay? Because I'm eventually going to take down all this insulation here. Yep. And I'm going to spray foam this with wall tight. And if you let me out of here, I'll go over the rest of it with you.
I'll think about it.
This is the sink in question. This is where everything's draining. This was actually clogged. Okay. And was actually backing up.
Every time it froze.
It froze, right? It's minus 30 out. This is going to freeze. Just makes sense. How the inspector missed this, I have no bloody idea.
Once we have all the insulation removed from underneath, I can then look what options I have.
You're gonna have to let me know. I'll show you some in here. Toilet. Look at the toilet's running through my joists. I want another ceiling in here. I'll probably bring my new ceiling roughly around the same height as they had the T-bar, and maybe a little bit higher, which means I'm probably gonna want my plumbing to come underneath as tight as possible. You can basically pull that apart with your hands. They've taken out about almost 80% of the structure.
Of the material, yeah. I need to access this cavity here. Cut out the stock, start with ABS, and bring it over right above.
I used to like you.
You
need these down as well behind me? Or just this corner?
No,
this
I need
all you need, right?
just this corner, right? I don't know how much you're gonna be able to pull down, but
okay. No problem.
Yeah?
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'll do that for you. Got it. Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh. Well, it's definitely vented. Not to the right areas, but it's definitely vented.
Damon?
Got 1.5 inches, Damon.
Yeah, but is that coming from soffit? Where's that coming from?
Flashing. I can stick my fingers
just
outside
flashing.
the flashing.
Well, you know what we're doing here, bud?
Yeah, we're turning the roof off.
Got that right, maybe not us, but we're gonna be definitely helping with it. Steve's ripped off the deck at this point. Carl and I are gonna restructure it. I have MJ downstairs cutting me strapping. I gotta double strap this roof to get proper airflow. Steve's actually gonna put a vent in the corner for me so that we have an intake and an exhaust.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna lower this 3-inch drain from the toilet. We're gonna lower them below at the floor joist and then attach them to the stack. So it's going to be upgraded to ABS, and it's all going to be updated to the current standard and the code requirements. My hair's a mess, my makeup is gone.
Oh, and don't touch me with that thing, please.
I think you're going to help me with this.
I can. MJ!
Is there like a present in here for me?
Are you okay for this?
How you want to carry that is put your arms inside it. This deck is not safe. Not only are these boards, like, look at this. I just did that with my hand. What they did is they built their frame for the roof, then they strapped the top of it, and then put plywood on it. So what I'll do is I'll get my structure right up to the plywood, which closes off that gap. And I can get a soffit vent right at the back here. It gives me a proper 1.5 inch airflow right across, which I want. What a crazy day today. So I have the asbestos gone, and it's now safe to take the wall out in the kitchen. Torn the deck off, and we're getting a new membrane torch down on the roof addition. So we've dealt with the plumbing, electrical, and I'm feeling pretty damn good about things. I think it's about time to call Mike in and get him through the house today.
Boys.
Hey, Mike, how are you? Good timing.
All right, what's with this conduit?
At one point, they wanted to run some electrical throughout the house without them ripping down walls and ceilings. This is what they decided to do. Now it ties in from top floor to basement. I don't know why they did it. They ran their electrical outside, though.
Is it acceptable?
No.
I didn't think so.
Jonathan's eliminating it. That's right.
It's in the driveway.
It's in the driveway. That's right. So they have to cut it off. They're going to rerun their lines, cut it off, take it out. I'm going to cap those holes when they're done.
Okay, what about the deck upstairs?
The deck upstairs, ripped it off. We redid the roof. We pulled back the siding. What do we have? Insul brick. Pulled off the insul brick. We started seeing structural damage. I had to take off all the barn board and
damage. It was rotten one. Water was getting in?
Water's getting in all around that door, the patio door. The installation was done improperly. The caulking job was bad.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, I think we should get him and walk him through.
Okay.
This is bigger than I thought.
Always.
Come on in, take a look at the carnage. We did a little bit of kicking down. You had a hope and a wish that you wanted to do something in the kitchen, remove the wall, do an island. So we're going to sort of help you on this. Come on in here.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
I've been using your plans for your new kitchen. We do have a set of the plans, so I'm just trying to incorporate whatever I can.
Well, let's start with the ductwork. After taking the wall down, we did have the ductwork checked. We did find asbestos on the ductwork. It was a minor roll of asbestos removal. We had that done. We lowered the ceiling down, and this way we had to repair all the plumbing in the corner here. Now, electrically speaking, we're rewiring your whole house.
The whole house.
We have to. You had some funky wiring stuff in there that just is unacceptable. And once we start touching it, we open the permits, and they want us to do it all. They don't want us to leave it for you to have to finish it. At 30 days to comply. So in this case, we're going to tackle the whole house when it comes to electrical. So as we go upstairs, you're going to see holes everywhere. We saw that the flat roof was not breathing properly, so everything was rotten up there, and that makes sense, because once you have a torch-down roof or any type of flat roof up there, the sun beats on it, and it doesn't breathe, it rots the hell out of it. Now we've actually strapped this way, strapped that way, resheeted it, which we'll see it from upstairs. What this allows is, we'll insulate from the bottom, and allows the air movement on the top. It must breathe underneath that hot roof.
I paid house inspection for nothing.
It seems like pointless. It's just, what's the point in getting it if you're just gonna get a rotting house anyway?
Once Damon actually opened up the outside of this, everything was rotten, including the sill of the door, all the structure around it, so.
I had to buy a new door. Your door was just rotten. I actually kept it for you just to show how bad it was, and it was causing so much damage to the rest of your structure. I had no choice but to take the door out, replace it, and replace all the structure around it.
Right now, the roofers are doing the new roof. He's actually just finishing the edging there. He was torching it down.
We're also giving you new gutters right around the whole perimeter because the other ones were working, but there was a lot of caulking done on them over the years. We're just replacing that.
They're old.
And we're replacing new siding on your back wall here.
Take a look at the back of your house. Just come over here for a sec, watch your step. The laundry room, the drain, they tied it in outside to here. So if it doesn't freeze under the crawl space, let me tell you, it is definitely going to freeze at the drain at the back door. And if that's not bad enough, Martin scoped the drains and found a crack in the main drain, so we've had to dig up this whole floor to get at it. So we'll get this done. I'm sorry about the mess, because we're going to be slightly messy.
That's okay.
Keep smiling.
Thank you.
I'll be back.
You guys cut them all, and we'll start putting them up right away, okay?
Hey! Don't! Come on!
Oh,
the back door cave.
We're just leveling out this ceiling right now. I have Jonathan here today. He's going to run my lights for me. So he's giving me a plan. I think we're going to run some pot lights in today. We're going to give them a light over this sink. We're going to try and incorporate it with what they have in their new kitchen, which is coming after we leave. We're trying to bring some kind of heat into that back room. Their biggest issue that is freezing cold back there. I'm going to insulate it properly, but it's not going to solve their heating problem because they can't get a run in there. There's absolutely no way. Would you recommend putting a baseboard heater in an area like a laundry room?
Yeah, you can put one in there.
Okay, where does that stay with code?
No, there's no issue with it as long as it's right wire, right away from the water. Yeah,
if there's a flood in there,
it's going to be off the ground anyway, right?
Absolutely. Okay, Gary, well, that solves that in that back room. That's great. Now that we've taken this heat duct out because of the asbestos that was on it and taken the wall down, we still have to find a way to get the heat upstairs.
If we can get something up in that closet wall.
Hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea, bud. Let's just see what's in here. Hey, we have room. Look at that. Done. MJ! Come here, please, sir. I want to see what's behind this wall. I want to see what's in this ceiling, okay?
Up the middle?
No, just a hole right here. Come like this, a foot off this back wall, and right across.
I'm saying down that wall. You said you just want to channel?
Yeah, I want to channel straight down the middle. Okay, I just want to see what's on either side there, which way we can go, if there's electrical, if there's plumbing, what I'm dealing with in there, okay?
Dusty in there,
I can't see. I only got one side done, and I missed the line a little bit because at the top I was kind of blindly cutting. Too much dust to see the line. Maybe we could get Billy's help instead.
Some sister you are.
How far can I go?
Just go shallow.
Yeah?
Really shallow.
If Junior would speed up, I think Sherry would be done a lot quicker.
Hey, Gare, we're good to go, bud. The last week of our jobs, I really push everyone to spend as much time and as late as possible to get everything done so I have a few days to actually look at things. What can we improve on? What can we fix to make it better for them in the end? We're fixing the issues. We don't want to cover anything up. This is why we all work well together.
And we did a little bit of taking down.
I had to buy a new door. Your door was just rotten. I actually kept it for you just to show how bad it was.
Could the house inspector not have seen things that would just hint that there would be more?
The new plumbing in the basement will connect with the laundry room on the inside of the house rather than being tied into the outside drain. Now we're installing a drain on the inside and the whole system will be properly vented. Okay, Paul, we got a couple of issues here. I gave you a roof vent to deal with your deck now. We were gonna originally deal with just the soffit vent, but we decided to put one in there just for cross ventilation. It makes sense. So we're gonna have to tie it into the deck.
Obviously, it's an appendage sticking up through the deck, so we don't want it to. You don't want to make a, a note of it. So.
Well, you know what I'm thinking? We could even do like a flower box over it. If we vent the flower box, you'll never see it.
We want to make it so it's something that's totally movable. But otherwise, it becomes like something that a kid can climb on and then go over the top of the railing.
Right.
You know what? Even if we just went around it, considering how high we're raising this deck anyway, it's probably not going to be that bad. It's probably just going to be a slight little nook there, and it's not somewhere where people are going to trip over because it's right close to the edge of the railing.
They don't know they're getting this deck either. At this point, it's up to you.
You got it.
I'm happy. Everything else is yours.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you, my friend.
The problem with most floating decks is that most people, when they hear floating deck, they also hear the word water damage tied in directly in the same sentence. So we've anchored into the meat of the house here, back there. So because of that, this whole deck is going to float. It's going to be completely secure. It's going to be solidly fastened to the framework of the house, but it's not touching the roof. All right, we're putting a stiles railing in. We're going to drive the railing right through the top of the top rail, and we're going to drop right down on top of this little nipple like this. Clean as a whistle, all the way around.
There's a lot of holes in this house, and me and Sherry have a lot of work here to do.
So, Rob, you done cutting holes or what?
When you're bonding concrete to concrete, the most important thing is keep your mortar a little bit wet. Because what you want to do is just fill your cracks and your chips and anything that's sort of exposed and you want to fix. So what you want to do is use a bonding agent all the way around, which means you're just bonding concrete to concrete, new concrete to old concrete. What you see a lot of times is cracking. If you see a patch in a concrete floor, you can always tell when they didn't use bonding agent because it cracks along the edges. This just stops it from cracking, so you can actually lay a floor over it and you'll never have to worry about the shifting because it'll eventually settle. Well, this part's about to be completed. I have spray foam insulation coming this afternoon. That means this part of the job is done.
Now I know where you're gonna be all the time. Laying down on the job like usual.
Well, right now we're in the middle of doing spray foam. They're spray foaming all underneath that floor was in the back. They were wondering why their feet were cold. There was insulation, improper use of insulation should be the word for it. They're spray foaming the floor underneath the floor joist, and they're gonna spray foam the walls just so no cold penetrates. I'm treating that like the inside of a house. Mike has a favorite saying, you're only as good as the people around you, and I like to adopt that because without my crew, this never would be done. We have so many jobs on the go at all times. We're spread very thin, and they always accomplish the best. They've been working late. They're all tired, but they're the reason these jobs get done, and I'm very proud of them, and they did another one. Well, I'm finally eliminating this. It was a stupid idea to begin with. Someone was opting to go out the easy way by running conduit out of the house and rewiring the house. We fixed it. I'm eliminating it. One more job done. Look at that. 2 MJs are better than one. Woo!
We ran all the lights for the kitchen. We ran the washer. We ran the dryer. We have to do the plugs and switches in the living room, dining room area, the outside porch light, and the light over the front door, and the basement. We're gonna have a good house when we're done. I just have to cut in a few more lines into the panel, and we should be good.
We've been patching for 4 days.
Has to be done. There's no attic here, finished basement. They want the house rewired. Unfortunately, that's what happens.
It's never ending. There's still so much to do.
I am done poking holes. I should be out of here today.
Every single room downstairs has this many holes in it.
You'll look at the wall,
just find
and there won't be a hole, and you'll look back, and there's a hole.
Just brought up to today's code. It's safe. It's good.
They're actually making more holes as we patch them. And coffee's here. That's the best part of the day.
It's looking good. I'm really happy. Craig's just finishing off his painting. I have the guys doing a little bit of cleaning downstairs. I have people upstairs cleaning. Electricians are done, finally. I mean, they were here for days and days and days. They just finished, so it's looking really good. Making our deadline again.
As a new homeowner, I'm starting to see the fallout of work that's not done properly.
That cold zone being underneath and the drain going down there, no wonder it froze. We're rewiring your whole house.
The whole house.
We have to.
Flash chairs for the bathroom.
Some sister you are.
Hey, Garrett, we're good to go, bud. One thing working with Mike is that he has a critical eye. So when he walks in here, I picked up enough from him along the way that I know what he's going to be looking for. I'm quite satisfied that he's going to be very happy with what we've done here.
Wow.
How you doing?
I like that. I thought you weren't going to fix the floor.
Well, we decided to. It was just too ugly. It was a gaping hole where the wall was, right? There was nothing else I could do.
You're getting as bad as me, or should I say as good as me?
Yeah.
Something tells me they're going to like it.
I think they're here probably about half an hour.
Are we done? We're just cleaning up?
Just cleaning at this point. We're almost there.
Any issues besides electrical, plumbing, structure, leaks?
Not
rot?
issues anymore. We fixed them.
So we have the ductwork moved, electrical's done,
Yeah.
all passed.
Now, the one thing about the HVAC, we did reroute this one. We were able to get it through the floor, back up here, and back upstairs that way.
So we've come over, up, and back over?
We had to. No choice. So because of that, he also couldn't bring a run into the back. You know,
it's still okay. The square footage is...
That's what he said.
It's
he
still
said
okay.
the only way to solve it, if they're really worried about it, put a baseboard heater, and that's what I did. Just with its own control, they can use it only if they wanted it.
Okay, and we removed the
electrical
conduit?
lines are out. The conduit's out. Patch the hole. That's all done.
I'm happy. You happy?
I'm really happy.
Good
I'll
job.
be happier when I give it back to them.
Well, hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey,
Long
guys.
time no see.
How you doing?
Very good.
Nice to see you again.
Michael. Good to see you, man.
That took long enough, eh?
How are you?
Definitely.
Oh, you ready?
Absolutely.
The conduit's gone. So they pulled out the conduit, rerouted all the electrical. I guess you know you got a whole new wiring in the house and panel and everything. Yeah, that's way up there in value here. But it looks really good. They just parched up the holes, make it watertight, and I'm really happy with the work that was done here. I think Damon did a great job. So rather than walking that way, I'm gonna take you in through the house and we'll start in the kitchen.
Okay.
Okay? Let's go in the kitchen.
Good.
So, right away, it looks bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It helps that, Damon, we made a decision to take down the wall and prep for your future kitchen.
It's so much more open now, and it looks beautiful, and the new color is very warm and inviting, and the new lights, and so they've started us on our way for our renovation. We just have the last touches.
All the holes in the house from the electrical, which were everywhere. You did see all the holes.
Yeah.
I did see, you couldn't avoid
So
that.
we pretty well brought in Craig Lowe and painted everything after our guys had repaired all the holes.
Okay.
He brought down the ceiling, pot lights, new center light, and it just looks new, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks huge in here.
Yeah, it does.
Looks so much bigger.
Well, I don't think you're in a hurry to redo the kitchen anytime soon, though.
That's what I was saying. You almost don't really need to anymore.
I mean, you got all
cupboards.
these happy sun pictures on that. Did you do that, by the way?
No, it came with that.
Oh, it came with the house, okay. Now, you remember this was all these cupboards were taken down, the corner was opened up because of the issues we had with plumbing. So all this plumbing in this area was redone. Washer and dryer area, everything's done. It's all new now. Even Damon put in a register, a heat register on the wall, just in case you need it.
I love the summer, I love the spring, and now I can actually look forward to the winter and not, you know, have to fear the kitchen. It got to a point where we just didn't want to go in there.
So we'll go down, and first we'll just take a step back and look up. Oh, wow. So the window's completely closed off now that all the siding was taken off, restructured, the rot was taken out.
Had to fix the structure so it breathed properly, first of all. It wasn't even breathing up there. And eventually, that was just going to dry rot. It was basically dry rotting in there. It was cooking itself.
It's not that it got soaked, okay, and then it rots away, because that's a wet rot, right? It's gotten so wet, it's saturated, it rots, falls apart. Dry rot is when it doesn't breathe. So you have the surface membrane, which is the sheathing of the roof, and then insulation, but no air from the soffits comes in and allows air movement to keep the wood from rotting. So he built it up. He makes sure that we have the air flowing, and that is by putting strapping across and then resheathing. So there's a vent on the roof that allows the air movement from the soffits and then to allow that wood to breathe again and exhaust out.
Adam did this. I had him build this. It was just we had some extra cedar lying around, and we built
Open it up, take a look. So this is how well insulated that is. Ran everything new, brought in Alex who does our spray foam. We spray foam the whole thing, but let's remember the rule of thumb. It's not conditioned by inside air. So there's a vent on this side of the house. In the summer, you open the vent so it breathes. In the winter, you close off the vent. And every year you do the same thing. It must breathe in the summer because it'll get too hot and stagnant in there, much like the dry rot in the ceiling. In the winter where it's cold, it will stay cold and keep it fresh, much like the bees and the flies go dormant in the winter, right? So it's actually good for it, but close it off.
I don't even know if there's words to describe it. It's just stunned and just incredibly humbled, and just, we're so lucky. We really have just hit the jackpot.
So we broke open the floor here, stripped your floor downstairs, broke open the floor inside. We found that the actual
the stack was leaking. It was cracked open. Your run
leaking
from
in the floor.
This point to the connection was leaking.
So that means when you flush the toilet every day and you have your showers, that was leaking underneath your concrete floor.
Yeah.
I can't believe that, you know, our products of digestion were being dispersed amongst the floor.
Yeah, we had no idea about that leak.
I love the deck. It looks good, doesn't it?
Looks beautiful.
Well, let's go up there and take a look at it.
Oh, wow. This is really, really, really nice.
It is nice, isn't it?
Very.
It feels big. It's new. It's like, it's obviously a whole new roofs on here, and this is his signature.
That's slate?
That is slate.
And look at the height. It's proper height.
Right.
Yeah.
The good thing about this, if you have to get under this for the next time, this comes up really easy. I love this flooring, how it anchors. There's a special bit, and you pull it all out, and you pull your floor up, and you can work underneath this and do any repairs that you need.
Do you guys run electrical out here?
Well, you have to. This is code. Since all the electrical was brought up today, you have carbon monoxide that are wired in, you have smoke detectors that are wired in.
Well, you know what? You guys are trendsetters because now everyone around here has to get a new deck just like this. Because if you look this way, I mean, they've got a lot to work on now. Yeah, that's right.
It's the little things that you don't think about when you're buying a house, but now that we see it, we're like, oh, that's great to have that there.
Little things, even, for instance, just having electrical out on the deck, I didn't realize that was to code, but it's, now that it's here, I'm sure we'll be using it.
So you happy?
Very.
More than happy.
It's like winning the lottery.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I hope you love it. I hope you set up out here every single night and have a glass of wine, one glass, you know, maybe two. A nice barbecue or something, cook yourself and enjoy it. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Keep smiling, Tricia.
I will.
Okay.
They had no airflow. And that's probably the reason right there. That's for you, buddy.
Oh, thank you. That's great. Hey, we're gonna play Cinderella. The spiders like to lay eggs and those things. You might know.
Yeah.